It was a Tuesday morning at Lincoln High School in Fairfax, Virginia. The hallways were filled with the usual sounds: lockers slamming, students laughing, teachers preparing for second period. In the east corridor, a man pushed a janitor's cart down the hallway. He was 52 years old, with graying hair and quiet eyes that had seen more than most people could imagine. His name was Marcus Johnson. He wore a navy blue custodian uniform, with a name tag that simply read, Marcus. Students walked past him without a second glance. Some stepped over his mop bucket without acknowledgement. To them, he was just part of the background. Just the janitor. They had no idea who he really was. And in less than 20 minutes, Marcus Johnson would save all of their lives. Marcus had worked at Lincoln High for 8 years. Every morning, he arrived at 6:30 a.m., cleaned classrooms, emptied trash, fixed broken lockers. He knew the name of every student who'd ever stopped to say hello, which wasn't many. The principal, Dr. Helen Martinez, was a good woman, but she was under pressure. Budget cuts, funding shortfalls, difficult decisions. That morning, before the shooting, she'd been in a meeting with the school board's finance committee. We could save $40,000 annually by outsourcing custodial services, the finance director said, sliding a proposal across the table. Marcus Johnson is adequate, but he's expensive. Full benefits, pension contributions. A private contractor would cost half as much. Dr. Martinez hesitated. She liked Marcus. He was reliable, kind. But $40,000 could fund 2 teaching assistants, new textbooks, technology upgrades. Let me think about it, she said. We'll revisit this next quarter. What Dr. Martinez didn't know, what nobody at Lincoln High knew, was who Marcus Johnson really was. Sergeant First Class Marcus Johnson, United States Army Rangers, 20 years of service, 4 combat tours, 2 in Iraq, 2 in Afghanistan. Silver Star for conspicuous gallantry, Bronze Star with Valor device, Purple Heart with oak leaf cluster, wounded 3 times, never left his men behind. In 2007, in Fallujah, Marcus's platoon was ambushed. 14 soldiers trapped in a kill zone. Marcus, the platoon medic, ran through enemy fire 7 times, pulling wounded men to safety. He saved 12 lives that day, lost 2. Johnson still saw their faces every night. He'd retired medically in 2015. PTSD. Shrapnel still in his shoulder from an IED. The Army wanted to give him a desk job, medical instructor position. He declined. Too many memories, too much noise. He needed quiet. He needed simple. He needed to be around kids. They reminded him what he'd fought for. So he became a janitor. And he found peace in the routine. Until that Tuesday, October 17th, 10:23 a.m. Marcus was in the cafeteria, wiping down tables after first lunch period. The second lunch group would arrive in 15 minutes. Then he heard it. Bang. His body knew that sound before his mind did. Rifle fire. AR platform. East hallway. Bang, bang, bang. The fire alarm didn't go off. The lockdown alarm did. A voice over the PA system. Dr. Martinez, trying to stay calm but failing. Lockdown. Code red. This is not a drill. Teachers, secure your classrooms. Students, get down and stay down. Screaming erupted. Students in the cafeteria scattered. Some ran for exits. Others dove under tables. A teacher pulled a group into the kitchen. Everyone moved away from the sound of gunfire. Except Marcus. He stood perfectly still for 2 seconds. Not frozen. Assessing active shooter. East hallway. Multiple shots fired. No return fire. No SRO present today. Budget cuts. Only 2 days per week now. His training overrode everything else. 20 years of muscle memory. Instinct. Marcus moved toward the sound. A teacher grabbed his arm. Marcus, no! Hide! He gently removed her hand. His voice was different now. Not the quiet janitor. Command voice. Ranger voice. Get these kids secured. Lock the doors. Don't open them for anyone but police. But you're not... Ma'am, I've got this. Lock. Down. Now. She nodded, terrified, and ushered students away. Marcus pushed his cart toward the east hallway. His heart rate was steady, his breathing controlled. He'd done this before. Different country, same threat, different uniform, same mission: protect the innocent, stop the threat. The east hallway was chaos. Lockers pocked with bullet holes, backpacks scattered, no bodies, thank God. The shots had been wild, high. Amateur, 50 feet ahead. Marcus saw him. Tyler Bennett, 19 years old, former student, expelled the previous year for threatening a teacher. Marcus remembered him. Quiet kid, loner, pain in his eyes. Now Tyler wore tactical gear purchased online, held an AR-15, fired it sporadically at ceiling tiles, lockers, walls, shaking, crying, screaming incoherently. He was moving toward room 284, a P English, Mrs. Chen's class. The door was locked, but it was a standard school door. Hollow core, flimsy lock. One good kick, and it would open. 30 junior students were in that room. Marcus could hear them, muffled crying, whispered prayers. Tyler raised his rifle toward the door. Marcus called out, "Calm, steady." "Tyler." The young man spun around, rifle swinging wildly. "Stay back." Marcus kept walking, slow, deliberate, hands visible, empty, at his sides. The janitor's cart rolled in front of him, thin metal, but some cover. "Tyler, I know you. You were a student here. You're hurting. I understand that." "You don't know anything about me." Tyler's voice cracked. The rifle wobbled in his hands. Marcus was 40 feet away now. "I know what pain feels like. I know what rage feels like. I've been there, son. But these kids..." He gestured toward room 284. "They didn't hurt you. Mrs. Chen didn't hurt you. You know that. They all hurt me. They all ignored me, just like you. You never even looked at me." Marcus stopped. 25 feet now. "You're right. I'm sorry, Tyler. I should have seen you. I should have helped. That's on me. But right now, you can stop this. You haven't hurt anyone yet. That door is still closed. Those kids are still safe. You can walk away from this." Tyler was sobbing now, but the rifle was still pointed. I can't go back. I can't." "Yes, you can. I'll walk with you. Right now. We'll walk out together. I promise I won't let anyone hurt you." For one moment, one precious moment, Tyler lowered the rifle slightly. His finger eased off the trigger. Then he raised it again, pointed it at Marcus. "I'm sorry," Tyler whispered. Marcus saw his finger tighten on the trigger. He charged. 3.2 seconds. That's how long it took Marcus Johnson to close the remaining 25 feet. Tyler fired. The bullet hit Marcus's left shoulder, the same shoulder that still carried shrapnel from Fallujah. Pain exploded through his arm. Marcus didn't stop. He drove the janitor's cart forward like a battering ram. It struck Tyler's legs. The young man stumbled backward. Marcus was on him. The rifle fired again. Ceiling tiles exploded. Marcus executed a Riley disarm, a Ranger close-quarters combat technique he'd performed 100 times in training, twice in actual combat. Grip the weapon, twist against the shooter's thumb, rotate, pull. The AR-15 clattered to the floor. Tyler fought back, but he was 19 and terrified. Marcus was 52 and trained. 2 seconds, Tyler was face down, Marcus's knee on his back. The young man's arm controlled in a compliance hold, painful but non-lethal. "Stay in your classrooms," Marcus shouted, his voice carrying through the hallway. "Threat neutralized. Do not open your doors. I repeat, threat is neutralized." He could feel blood running down his left arm. His shoulder screamed. He ignored it. Beneath him, Tyler was crying. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." "I know, son," Marcus said quietly. "I know." 90 seconds later, police stormed the hallway. Rifles up. "Down! Get down! Friendly! Friendly!" Marcus called. "I'm security. Shooter is secured." The officer saw an older man in a janitor's uniform, bleeding from the shoulder, calmly restraining a sobbing teenager. An AR-15 on the ground, cleared and safe. Jesus Christ, one officer breathed. Paramedics rushed in. Sir, you're hit. Marcus didn't let go of Tyler until police had him fully restrained. Only then did he release his grip and lean against the lockers. Check the kids first, Marcus said, nodding toward room 284. All of them. Every classroom. Make sure they're okay. Sir, you're bleeding. I've had worse. Check. The kids. They checked. 30 students in room 284. All safe. Every student in the East Wing. All safe. 0 casualties. Except the janitor who nobody noticed. St. Mary's Hospital, emergency room. The bullet had gone clean through Marcus's shoulder, in and out, missing bone and major vessels. He'd been lucky. Again. The waiting room was packed with media. Local janitor stops school shooter. Hero custodian saves 30 students. Former Army Ranger prevents tragedy. Dr. Martinez burst into his room, tears streaming down her face. Marcus, this morning, we were going to... She couldn't finish. I know, Marcus said gently. Budget cuts. I heard about the meeting. I was going to fire you, to save $40,000. And you just saved 30 lives. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. Yes, I do. I looked at you and saw a line item, a cost. I didn't see a person. I didn't see a protector. I'm so sorry. Marcus shook his head. Dr. Martinez, you're a good principal in an impossible situation. You're trying to do the best for the kids with the resources you have. I don't blame you. A detective entered. She carried a file. Mr. Johnson, I need to get your statement. But first, I pulled your military records. She opened the file. Read. Sergeant First Class Marcus Johnson, 75th Ranger Regiment, 20 years active duty. Silver Star for conspicuous gallantry under fire. Bronze Star with Valor device. Purple Heart with 2 oak leaf clusters. She looked up. Sir, you're a goddamn war hero. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. I'm a janitor who did his job. Your job is to clean floors, not to charge armed gunmen. My job is to keep those kids safe. All of us, every teacher, every staff member, every person who works in that building, we're guardians. Whether it's in our job description or not. A reporter managed to slip past security, stuck her head in. Mr. Johnson, why did you risk your life? You're not trained for this. You're not paid to stop shooters. Marcus looked at her steadily. Ma'am, I am trained for this. And those kids aren't my job. They're my responsibility. There's a difference. I couldn't hide in a closet while they were in danger. That's not who I am. The story went national. Janitor hero. Ranger saves school. Invisible guardian. Marcus hated the attention. Did one interview, said his piece, then refused all others. What he cared about was Tyler. The young man was in psychiatric custody, awaiting trial. Marcus visited him. Why? Tyler asked. I tried to kill you. I tried to kill them. Why do you care? Because you're a kid who needed help, Marcus said simply. You slipped through the cracks. We all failed you, me included. But you didn't kill anyone. You can come back from this, get help, get better. I'll make sure you do. Tyler cried. I don't deserve. Deserving's got nothing to do with it. You're a human being. You're worth saving. Just like those kids in room 284 were worth charging a rifle for. 1 month later, Marcus returned to Lincoln High. The entire student body, 1,200 kids, stood in the gymnasium. When he walked in, they erupted. Standing ovation. Lasted 5 minutes. Marcus stood uncomfortably, not sure where to look. The 30 students from room 284 presented him with a gift. A shadow box. Inside, his Silver Star medal. They'd asked his daughter for it. Below it, 30 handwritten thank you notes. Above it, a plaque. Our guardian. Dr. Martinez made an announcement. Marcus Johnson is no longer our janitor. He's our director of safety and campus security. Full salary increase, full benefits, full respect, which he should have had all along. The school board issued a statement. We are hiring combat veterans at all district schools as safety consultants. Budget increase approved. Some things are more important than saving money. Today, Marcus still works at Lincoln High. He still mops floors, says it helps him think. But now, students stop to talk to him, ask him questions, thank him. Tyler Bennett is in psychiatric treatment, facing charges, but Marcus's testimony helped get him treatment instead of just prison. Marcus visits him once a month. He's getting better. That's what matters. The lesson? Real heroism doesn't come with a title or a paycheck. It comes from who you are when nobody's looking. Marcus Johnson was a hero long before anyone knew his name. He was a hero when he was invisible, and he'd do it all again. Marcus Johnson continues to work at Lincoln High School. He has trained all staff in basic threat response and crisis management. Tyler Bennett is receiving psychiatric care. Marcus visits him monthly. The 30 students from room 284 all graduated. Several have joined the military or law enforcement, citing Marcus as their inspiration. 0 students were harmed on October 17th because one man refused to hide.